139, fine.
139 off duty, 0200.
Those were the last words of Bardstown police officer Jason Ellis. Minutes after he signed off for the night, he found tree branches blocking exit 34. He stopped, stepped out of his cruiser, and walked over to move them. It was bait, and someone was waiting. This is the story of Officer Jason Ellis, the first in a string of murders that would make Bardstown, Kentucky, infamous. Long before Officer Jason Ellis wore a badge, he wore number 5 as a catcher. Baseball carried him from high school to the University of Cumberland, where he became one of the best players in school history, and eventually he signed a contract with the Cincinnati Reds. His wife Amy said that Jason's dreams were to have a family, play baseball, and go into law enforcement. Jason met Amy on Valentine's Day in 2001.
So he picked me up, brought me flowers, brought my mom flowers. I told her, I was like, I really like him. I think he's the one. And she's like, oh, Amy, you've only known him for like a week. But I knew.
Jason and Amy married a few years later and had 2 boys, Hunter and Parker. By 2006, Jason had joined the Bardstown Police Department. He received the Governor's Award in 2007, 2008, and was named Officer of the Year. He also became the department's only narcotics canine officer, working along a German Shepherd named Figo. On duty, he was serious and disciplined. Off duty, he was the guy joking around and coaching Little League. He could be the officer people trusted on their worst day, and then be the dad on the field, still in uniform, coaching a kid's t-ball game. And on the evening of May 24th, 2013, that's exactly where he was. He had been coaching the game with his best friend, fellow officer Andrew Riley, when he was called away for a domestic disturbance. Later that night, Jason called Amy. They said, "I love you," and he told her that he would see her when he got home. But he never did. His last call of the night involved a man named Joseph Hamilton. Hamilton was intoxicated and had been found lying in the roadway. Jason took him to the hospital, and after Hamilton was discharged, Jason took him to Nelson County Jail before heading home for the night. Jason was not driving his canine vehicle that night, meaning Figo wasn't with him. At 1:59 a.m., Jason signed off with dispatch.
139, fine.
139 off duty, 0200.
He then started the drive home along Bluegrass Parkway. Just after 2 a.m., he exited at exit 34. Tree branches blocked the bottom of the off-ramp, so he stepped out to clear the road. But someone was waiting above on the embankment.
Is this going to be a car accident? Is there another vehicle involved?
I've just got off work, and there was the police car is sitting in the middle of the road with the lights on, and we didn't know what it was. It's a tree across the road, and I didn't know what it was, and I got out, and I went up there and looked, and it's him.
One of the first officers to arrive was Andrew Riley, Jason's best friend.
Got as close to him as I could with the tree branches were still in the roadway when I got there. Mr. Monroe was down on the ground beside him. I ran up to him and just started doing what I could that I thought could help. And then EMS was there. It seemed like almost instantly, and there was nothing else to do.
By sunrise, Exit 34 had become one of the largest crime scenes in Bardstown history. Kentucky State Police took over the investigation with the assistance of the FBI and ATF.
Officer Ellis traveled to Bluegrass Parkway to exit 34 and Highway 55, as many of us do every day. At the ramp at exit 34, he encountered debris blocking the roadway. A committed officer that he was, he left his cruiser to clear the roadway of the debris. Even though this was at the end of his shift and well outside the city limits of Bardstown, he had no way of knowing that those branches had been placed in the roadway deliberately, luring him out of his cruiser to a fatal ambush.
Despite thousands of investigation hours, hundreds of interviews, and a reward that grew over $200,000, no one had ever been charged with Jason Ellis' murder. 1 week later, Jason Ellis was laid to rest. Thousands of family members, friends, fellow officers, and strangers came to say goodbye. Beside his casket stood his canine partner, Figo. Jason left behind a wife, 2 young sons, and a police department that had lost one of its own.
We want answers and we want justice, and I am still clinging to the hope that, it will be solved.
And a community searching for answers that still hadn't come. But Jason's murder was only the beginning. 2 years later, Crystal Rogers disappeared. Her car was abandoned and was found along the Bluegrass Parkway, the same highway where Jason had been ambushed. Then her father was killed while searching for answers.